Alright guys, welcome to a new video. In this video we are going to be tearing apart this entire mini bike. Well, hopefully the entire mini bike. So first we're going to start here on the motor. We're going to take off this cover right here, and then that'll give us access to pull off a lot of stuff. And then after that we're going to take off the fuel tank, and then we're going to take off the throttle assembly and then the carburetor. And then we're going to switch over to the other side and take off the exhaust and whatever else is on there. So this cover here, that's held in with a couple of 8mm bolts. You guys are probably going to see this and be like, yeah, that's a little over necessary. It's the same one I used in last video. If I even used it. I'm not entirely sure that I did. But there's going to be one bolt right in here behind this throttle assembly. And just leave the same up for now. And there's one here underneath the fuel tank. And there's two that connect directly to the base of the motor. One being right here, and then one being right here. And I loosen them up by hand, or I loosen them up with the ratchet, and then I gotta get some gloves after I take this off. Yeah, I drained out the fuel, and then I actually have some bad but good news. And I will explain to you that. If you guys, no cheating, if you guys can take a guess at what it is that the bad news is, I'll like your comment. Alright, so I just have that one last bolt to loosen up, or to finish loosening right here, and then this cover will actually should drop off, or should come off. Alright, so I got 3 of them. The 4th one actually dropped here into the bin of gas. Alright, we're just gonna set that right there for right now, and let me go get some gloves. Alright, I got my gloves on. As you guys can see, we are outside in Arizona. It's the front gate to my house, just in case any of you guys were wondering. Alright, so then, after we got this off, now we're going to remove this fuel tank. That comes off with a 10 or 12mm. These aren't factory bolts. So, or they aren't factory nuts. These ones are 10mm. And so hopefully, what I want to accomplish in this build is have a running mini bike that I can sell if I need to, which I'm probably going to eventually. As you guys can see, there's fuel tank. We're gonna pop it right off that hose just like this, and then I'm gonna finish draining this into here, and I'm grabbing out my bolt that had fallen in there. Alright, I'm just going to have that sit there in the gas, because I don't know how much is left in it. Like, this thing has a lot of compression. So, talking about the compression, this is what happened. So this is a normal assembly here. I don't know how all you guys are going to be able to see this. But it had broken trying to start it today, because I wanted to run this gas through it, clean it up on the insides for what I could. But it does run. Just, it broke this because of how high this compression is. Like I can't twist it much easily. And what it did was actually, it got so high of compression once that this had actually slammed into the cover. Like, this handle had slammed so hard on the cover, it broke the pull cord handle itself, and then it shattered this and got this stuck into the fan. It's not that big of a deal, because it's gonna be this is gonna be a project. It's gonna take some time to get this done, like all projects. And so Now we're just going to use an 8mm. And we don't need the extension for this. We're taking out the coil pack now. Or not the coil pack, the throttle assembly. We'll wait on the coil pack. Alright. So, and then when it was running, it was actually high revolutions. So what I did find out is that I need actually a new governor rod, because this is close throttle here, and it wants to stay in full throttle. That's why when it was starting, it was running rich and going, like running extremely rich. Alright, so you have one screw up here for the throttle assembly. And then here you have one bolt here, holding it in. And then you have one bolt here holding it in. And it just comes off just like that. And then we're going to set that aside. And I take off the spring. Fairly bad, but still got a spring to it. And then this rod actually won't come out until we, actually, never mind. I think I can get it out right now. Yeah, okay, so we got out that rod. Rod, not too bad. They'll have to sit in like a evaporator for like maybe 20-30 minutes tops. Alright, so next we're going to get the coil. So the coil is an 8mm also. As you guys can see, this is where I run the where the positive goes. I'm gonna have to replace this with a washer connection. Not too difficult. And then the bottom bolt comes out super easily. And then top bolt will come out super easily also. Alright, so now we got that bolt out. And then now we're going to switch here to the carburetor. We're going to zoom in right here. And these are 12mm, I believe. No, they're actually 10. Alright, so these are 10mm silver. I'm just going to shut off the fuel so this will slide off. And then, I don't know if you guys will see that down in there. That's actually gas. It's gas and something else, probably like oil or something. I don't know. And we have gasket. Looks fairly good condition. It's still gonna get replaced eventually. And I'm gonna throw the carburetor gaskets in the gas. And the carburetor will actually slide right out. I'm gonna do a whole video on cleaning up carburetors. So, oh yeah, it's still got gas in it. Just gonna set that there. You guys can't see it, but I can. That's gas flowing out of the carburetor right here. I'm sorry if you guys didn't see that. I'm going to actually do a video on cleaning up carburetors. Between, like, taking off the bowl, doing all that. And then now we can take off the spark plug, or the coil pack, which that's right here. This is gonna have to get replaced here in the future. It's not too bad, but it's getting there. And if you guys know what this is used for, please let me know. I'm not really, I know how to work on small engines and stuff, but I've never found out what these are for on like a small engine, like if that's where the red's supposed to go or what, for a kill switch. So if you guys work on mini bikes, please let me know. Alright, and then we have another gasket here, and then the plastic plate that's also going to go on the gas. This gasket still looks fairly new, because it is. This one I'm not going to throw in because it's paper. That other one's rubber and metal. So now we got that off. These aren't going to come off. And you have your breather tube. It needs to be replaced. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. But yeah, it's just split both ends. Alright. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this flywheel. So let me go get my puller. So I'm back. I have a standard puller. Alright, so as you can tell, that was my puller, obviously. This is the Rigid Gen 5X Impact. I like to have it on speed 3 for taking off this nut right here. And on mine, it's a 13/16. And so what I'll do is I'll hold this right here. And then that nut comes right off. And then this will come off. This is what the pull starter comes in contact to turn over the motor. And you have your plastic fan shroud, or the plastic fan. And then here you have the gear itself. And this is where the puller comes into play. So what I'll do is I'll just loosen it. And then I'll loosen it so it just barely holds onto the gear, and then I'll tighten it back up. There we go. So now I have the force on this where it's staying up on its own. So now we're going to take, I'm pretty sure it's a 19. Never mind, it's not 19. Probably a 21. Or not 21, it's 20. Or is it a 19? Yeah, it's a 19. So then here, we're just going to plug on the and then these are held on by so much force that actually when you do it, you have to like catch this. But you guys can see I have my hand on the impact still, and I'm pushing it actually forward, so that way it didn't fall anywhere. But as you guys can see, it does pop off with a lot of force. And that'll drop right off, and then look at how bad this is. You guys see this? This definitely needs some evapor rust. Sorry about that. Sorry about that interruption, guys. Alright. So, I just showed you guys flywheel again. See that? Look at how bad this is. This is definitely going to be something that goes in the evapor rust. Alright, so now we're going to take off these. These actually generate electricity for my headlight. So, with that being said, we're going to take those off. Those are also an 8mm. You guys can see obviously the common size used on this. And there's one. There's two. There's three. And there's four. And then, let me see, I'll zoom in on this. And reposition the camera. Alright, there we go. Alright, so those top two came off with these long bolts right here. And then this, it's loose, but I have to hit it free because it hasn't been freed ever. Like, I never loosened it before. And then we also have to take off this here for the wire. Which that's a very small bolt. if you guys can hear the plane. I don't know if you guys will or not, but it shouldn't be a big deal. Alright. So, and then you have the two more that come off with that. And then you guys can see, pops right off. Just gonna take this right here. And it pops right off. So then, this connector, I need to replace. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. Let me zoom in on it. This is actually shattered. Right here, this part of the connector shattered, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut that and redo it. Alright, so now, as I was saying, there's a bolt right there. That one right there. Let me zoom out. Yeah, right there. That one needs to get undone next for the heat shield. So the wire can be pulled through. And then it's just it's a little rubber grommet. And then those will disconnect by disconnecting the connector. And then here you have the two charging pieces. Alright, I'll probably replace this connector too, because if that connector broke, then this one's probably on the verge of breaking. Alright. And then I do not want to take this off yet. And there's a specific reason. If I were to take this off, that governor assembly would just drop straight down into the motor. And then, so this actually doesn't have like this is brand new oil that I put in it, and it's only run for not even 10 minutes. And I guarantee you it's dirty. But let's switch over to the other side and continue working. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do on this side is we're going to take off that exhaust. Those appear to be a 12. Yes, that's a 12. And you guys are probably going to say this is a little bit over necessary, and I think it is too. It's just the one that I had right with me. And you just need to break them loose. The motor is cooled off. Or the motor, yeah, the motor's been cooled off. The exhaust is cooled off since I almost had it running this morning. And this will just pop off with a 1, 2, and a twist. And as you guys can see, there is a fair bit, like, you guys can't really see, but there is a fair bit of rust on it. And you guys have, then we have an exhaust gasket right here, which you don't want to break, because all these gaskets, they were replaced. I bought a gasket kit back in like January or so. Only gasket that hasn't been replaced is actually this, the main cover, which we'll get, or the main cover that we'll get to. But this one's gonna have to be replaced anyway because I've already broken it. I think. You guys can see all those cracks in it. I didn't do that. There is no remains of a gasket here, so that one's gonna have to really get replaced. And then, so next thing that we're actually gonna do is we're gonna mount this off the motor. After, if you guys remember from yesterday's video or the other day's video, taking off that cover. Remember, I put the bolts back in. I'm gonna take those off. I should have just left them off, but I didn't want to lose them at the time. Alright, so now we're going to actually take the motor off of this, and then we're actually going to tip it towards me, and we're going to loosen up the drain plug. So let me get the 14 and the 6mm, and I will be right back. So as you guys can see there, there are these two Allen head bolts, one there and one there. And then underneath, it's actually a 14. Alright guys, so I managed to get all 4 bolts out. There were 4 of these. And so now, my motor actually will go turn. So now we have the plan of, so I don't know how well you guys will be able to see this, but that's my drain plug right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to loosen that. I'm going to put a container underneath and I'm going to catch all the oil. And then it's going to sit there for a little while. And then I'm going to be picking this up while it drains, and then I will come back to you guys. Change of plans. I'm almost out of memory, so hope you guys enjoyed. Join me on Patreon. Thank you. Subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a nice day.